So today I'm going to show you how I make my chocolate mug cake. I thought of this because my daughter has a recipe for a chocolate chip mug cake, which has regular flour, brown sugar, chocolate chips, and so I'm trying to avoid all that, or just make like a different version of it, okay? And today I'm going to be using coconut flour, which is my new favorite gluten-free flour. So I'll tell you what I have. It's really easy. First thing is I have a mug that I have greased with some melted butter so that the cake doesn't stick. And you can use any mug, any microwave mug. What I have here in this bowl are my dry ingredients. And this is for one serving. I have some coconut flour, I have cocoa powder, or actually I'm using cacao powder. So it's got this really nice intense chocolate flavor. I have that. I also have a little bit of baking powder. I have some brown sugar, and I have half a teaspoon of tapioca flour starch. This is actually also gluten-free. They use it a lot for gluten-free baking. And this one it's from this plant, or this kind of like a starch, I guess, and it's called cassava is the name of it. So anyways, if you want to try using it and you're gluten-free baking, you want to maybe research how to use it. So I have some of that. And so those are my dry ingredients, okay? What I have in here is 3 tablespoons of liquid egg whites. You can use just a large egg white, or if your eggs are really small, then you can actually use 2 of those egg whites. So pretty much you want to make sure you have at least a 1/4 cup of egg whites. And what I've done is I've just kind of like beat it up a little bit to make it a little bit foamy. That's just going to help with the rising of the texture of the mug cake. All right, the other thing I have here is some milk. I'm using coconut milk, so I have 3 tablespoons of coconut milk and about half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So I have that, and I have my chocolate chips, about 2 tablespoons. I'm using today dairy-free, nut-free, gluten-free, and all that stuff, that just to make sure, you know, that I don't get any kind of side effects. Dairy-free is really important for me. So that's what I'm using today. And I usually use the Enjoy Life brand, the mini chocolate chips, which are semi-sweet. I couldn't find them this time at the store, so I found another brand, which I don't know if, you know, it's just particular. This is the first time I've seen it, but it just says chocolate chips, and this is the brand, and it also says semi-sweet, and it's real chocolate chips, and it's dairy and nut free. So that's another alternative. If you don't want to use these type of chocolate chips, you can always just use your regular semi-sweet unsweetened. You can even use like the really dark chocolate, the one that's like 90%, but you have to keep in mind then you'll have to add more sugar. So I have 2 teaspoons of this brown sugar. You'll probably have to add more depending on how sweet you want it. Okay, so the only other thing that I need is some melted butter. You can use either melted butter, a tablespoon of melted butter, or you can use also coconut oil. And I actually forgot to get the coconut oil, so I'm going to need to get that here in a moment. So while we're waiting for that to happen, I'm just going to mix the dry ingredients. And here's my coconut oil. Thank you. So I'm just going to make sure that all of my dry ingredients are combined. Sometimes coconut flour, any flour, has lumps, or even the cocoa powder. So you want to make sure, just use like a whisk. I'm using like a very small whisk here. You can use a fork or whatever you want to use. So just make sure that that's all together like that, combined without any lumps, okay? Then we're gonna go ahead and just dump everything else in here. Your milk with your vanilla. Gonna put our egg whites in there. You can also try this, I guess, with a whole egg. I've never tried it with a whole egg, so you can try it if you want with the whole egg. And let me just go ahead and add my coconut oil. And again, we just need a tablespoon. This one's not that melted, but that's okay. I'm actually going to use this spoon, which is clean. And it's okay if it's not 100% melted. I mean, it's really not a big deal. I've done it either way, and it doesn't affect the texture or anything like that. Okay, so once we have all that combined, we're just going to mix it. Just make sure everything is mixed really good so that you don't get any, you know, lumps or any type of weird texture on your cake. Now this is generally going to take about a minute in the microwave. It depends. All of the microwaves are different. For me, I find that it takes a minute, maybe a minute and 10 seconds. I like it kind of, you know, gooey in the middle, so that's my preference. But you know, if you want it drier, just keep in mind that coconut flour tends to dry, so you don't want to, it absorbs a lot, so you don't want to leave it in there too long because you don't want like a dry hard cake. So that's what it's gonna look like. Pretty much just looks like a little batter. And we're gonna add our chocolate chips and just kind of mix in our chocolate chips. Okay, just randomly mix them. Go ahead and pour it in my greased mug. This is really nice because sometimes you want something sweet, you don't have anything in the house, so you just want something. Even if you just want something chocolatey, this will work. I guess you can probably add nuts to this if you wanted to, you know, maybe some almonds or whatever nuts you have. So I'm just gonna make sure it's nice and all in there. Depending on the mug size that you use, it's gonna be, you know, it'll go up to it. But you don't want to fill it up. You don't want the mug to be so small that it goes too high, that you fill it up too high, because it is gonna grow when you bake it in the microwave. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the microwave for a minute, and when it comes out, I will show you what it looks like. So my mug cake is out of the microwave. I actually had to leave it in there. After that first minute, I had to put it back in for another 25 seconds approximately. So that's why you always have to check yours depending on what kind of microwave you have and how powerful it is and how you like your cake. So I've also let it sit for about 2 minutes because it's really hot when it comes out of the microwave. So let me show you what it looks like. Delicious. I've already made it a couple of times. I hope you guys make it. If you do, I hope you try it. If you do, please let me know. Leave me a comment if you liked it, or even if you didn't like it. The recipe and the instructions are going to be below the video. Again, thanks for watching.